Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this presentation. Thank you for coming today to learn about the use of a new technology called Bring Your Own Device. My name is Nick Broadley and I am the Chief Information Officer of National Accounting. As we have a mix of delegates in attendance today, I'll just run through the program. Today's agenda. This formal part of the presentation should run for about 10 minutes and then I'll be happy to answer any questions or respond to any queries. Firstly, an overview. What is BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device? I'll then address some questions including, how will it affect the company? How will it affect me? What do we have to do? How much will it cost? Followed by, how much will it save? Then a case study with a data analysis and a sensitivity analysis, followed by conclusions. Why are we here, you ask? We're here today to discuss new technology that has become available to the business world, the world that we operate in. The business world is constantly changing, and to remain competitive, we have to explore new ways of operating as they become available. This presentation is designed to give an overview of the considerations and changes required to implement and maintain this new technology. By the end of this session, I hope that everyone is a bit more informed about this upcoming technology and is comfortable in supporting this move into the future. Now, if you allow me, let me tell you a bit more about BYOD. The phrase "bring your own device", or BYOD, is the policy of permitting employees to bring personally owned mobile devices, such as smartphones, laptops, and tablets to the workplace, and use these devices to access privileged company information and applications. As we approach the year 2014, the ownership of smartphones and related devices is becoming more frequent among consumers and indeed our staff members. With the increase in computing power these mobile devices offer, the question has been asked, how can we work with our employees to streamline their usage? The use of these devices in a business function can have both advantages and disadvantages to the company and the employee. There are many benefits to using this system, but there are some issues to consider with its incorporations, as well as some costs. I'm sure everyone is asking themselves, what does this all mean to the company? A good question. There are many pros to the use of BYOD, including the declined cost of hardware. While there are still hardware costs, no longer having to purchase the huge amounts of computers and devices we currently do means savings. Improved user satisfaction. People will be using their own device, which is a positive, allowing staff the freedom to purchase the device to suit them. Flexible work hours. The portability of these devices allows you to work anywhere at any time. Quicker response times. No longer will it be necessary to wait to get back to the office to respond to inquiries and distribute information. Improve morale. Using your own device significantly raises the morale amongst the workforce. Cutting edge technology. People are more likely than the company to buy the newest and greatest technology, ensuring that we keep up with the latest trends. Decline use of paper. If you can have your device everywhere, why do we need paper copies? However, it's not all good news. There are cons that, like any technology, require management to ensure that the technology is not a weakness. There is an increased security threat as we have less control over hardware operation. There are legal implications. What if an employee leaves the company? How do we ensure we keep both the software and the data in-house? An involved backup system. How do we back up data that is contained on an employee's device? Controlling the acceptable use of such devices. The use of a personal device starts to blur the personal work boundaries. Retrieving data. How do we make sure that we keep the data here in this company and it is not being taken with employees to the next company? It's complicated when a device is lost. Who manages this? Is this the responsibility of the individual or the company? Both have an interest in it. And there are finally increased costs associated with the data and phone calls used. Who is responsible for this? Is this the individual or the company? But how will it affect me, you ask? A good question. There are several benefits to the user, including, it's your device. That means the choice of device and how you use it is completely up to you. You can use the device anywhere. If it's your device, more than likely you will have it with you, which means you can do whatever you need to do, wherever you need to do it. Tax deductible. If the device is used in the course of your work, more than likely the cost of the phone, the calls and the data is tax deductible. Cutting-edge technology. You can get the latest and the greatest technology whenever you choose, instead of waiting for the corporation to update. Flexible work hours. The versatility of these devices allows flexible work conditions without compromising the workflow. As with any technology, there is a trade-off for these conveniences. You may have to install extra software on your device. This software won't belong to you, but will take up space on your device. Possible privacy issues. With the data being kept on your device instead of the company hardware, there may be issues with privacy, especially if you leave the company. It may be necessary to inspect your device prior to leaving the company. Not all devices are supported. Depending upon the capabilities of our IT team, the project may only support some devices. How much will it cost? Over the anticipated 6-year life cycle, it can be shown that the costs associated with this project will be fairly consistent, differing little year to year. Costs include policy development. The strategies and policies that will be set forth by the company to ensure that the use of this technology is not abused. Software acquisition. Purchasing and maintaining the software that will be used on the individual devices. BYOD support team. The training associated with upskilling our IT officers to be able to support the project. Incremental maintenance. Like any asset, the maintenance of such a tool is important to ensure that the project meets the expected results. Finally, training. The costs associated with training the end user to get the best results. With an initial outlay of $10 million and averaging $9 million annually, the costs are within scope of our corporation. This information is useless, however, without similar data on the expected savings. There are several areas that savings will be recognised in for the use of BYOD, including the reduced cost of capital, the costs associated with capital outlays to purchase hardware, improved productivity. Using the device anywhere allows quicker responses to pressing matters, amongst other things. Reduced insurance, less costs associated with the insurance of the hardware assets we currently incur. As we can see, the longer this technology is implemented for, the greater the savings. If a discount rate of 10% is assumed, that is the rate we can borrow money for to fund this project, we can then work out the net present value of the project. Once a net present value analysis of the benefits and costs of the project is calculated, it can be shown that over the 6-year life cycle of the project, the resulting profit is close to $1.5 million. The data suggests an internal rate of return of 12% and a profitability index of 1.15, reaching the conclusion of the payback period in the project's 6th year. Beyond the 6-year life cycle, there will be ongoing maintenance tasks and associated costs. However, given the initial data, it is expected that productivity increases associated with the project will keep rising, making this both a viable and a profitable project. How accurate is this data, and what happens if there are extra costs or savings? To answer this, I will run through 3 scenarios. Firstly, an increase to the initial cost of training. $1 million per year over the first 4 years. This sees a payback period of 7 years, an internal rate of return of 9%, a drop of 3%, and a final profitability index of 0.92. Whilst not as attractive as the initial scenario, this is due to the project extending beyond the time frame analysed. Secondly, an increased discount rate to 11%. With an internal rate of return of 12% and a profitability index of 1.07, this is still a profitable project. However, it is not as attractive as the initial scenario. Third and final, improved productivity rates in the last 3 years. This scenario indicates an internal rate of return of 14% and a profitability index of 1.27, the best scenario of all. Today we have addressed a lot of material in regards to costs associated with the implementation and maintenance of a bring your own device project, as well as the benefits and downfalls of such a technology. In conclusion, with respect to the data analysis, the current predictions show a positive result with a 6-year payback period, 12% internal rate of return, $1.46 million net present value, and a profitability index of 1.15. By all financial means, this is a solid project. There are many factors that have to be considered though, many of which may be intimidating. The issues outlined today are manageable. The company's risk profile and project risk assessment are vital to the decision to proceed with the project, but the size and the innovative style of national accounting definitely supports the adoption of BYOD. Given the current information and climate, this company should proceed with the decision to implement a BYOD program. I'd like to thank everyone for their time today and hope to see this technology implemented in the near future. There are many elements that need to be considered in respect to BYOD, not all of which can be directly derived as a cost. Major factors that need to be considered include improved user satisfaction, flexible work hours, quicker response times, the increased security threat, legal implications, involved backup system. Interestingly is the research that hasn't been represented that is of the highest value. Currently, there is little in the way of research into the increased level of stress due to the 24/7 work environment the BYOD project would bring. It could be the expectation that the employee will be available no matter where or what they are doing. The work-life balance that the company advertises may be diminished under a BYOD project. It is important to distinguish that line. The support network to sustain a BYOD project would be much greater and versatile than first thought. It would require the implementation of policies and the changeover of hardware to ensure sustainable company use. The changeover period could be lengthy, as older generations may resist it.